Hey guys, Smitty here with Just Pillin' Barbecue. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you being here. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a chuck roast burnt end video, also known as poor man's burnt ends. This is by request from one of my subscribers, Brent. He's been a regular here lately on the live stream every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. And we always have good conversations on there. If you haven't checked it out, you need to check it out. We have a good time on there. So today we're going to be doing that, the poor man's burnt ends or chuck roast burnt ends. I've got two chuck roasts, about 1.5 pounds a piece, and we're going to be cooking today on the Traeger Timberline 850. It's going to be a great cook, so stick around and check it out. Let's talk about the meat for a minute. Chuck roasts, for the most part, they're pretty economical, but they've got a lot of marbling in them. So I'm going to bring you a little bit closer and show you what the marbling looks like in these chuck roasts. So as you can see, there's plenty of marbling, especially on this side over here, that side over there. I tried to pick two chuck roasts that were pretty similar in thickness, so they're going to cook evenly. So that's something to consider if you're picking out two chuck roasts. 1.5 pounds each, so 3 pounds total is what we're going to be shooting for. And these things look good, so there's nothing else to do but get them seasoned up. Now for the binder, I'm going to be using a little bit of olive oil like I always do on just about all my cooks. Just a little bit will do it. You just want to give that rub something to hold on to. And for the seasoning today, it's going to be really simple. I'm just going to go with a little bit of Traeger's coffee rub and just go right over the top with it. After you go over the top with it, pat it down in. It's got a little bit of sweetness with it too, so it's going to be pretty good making these burnt ends with it. Make sure you get all sides, every piece of meat that you can. Pat it in really well. Let it tack up a little bit, and then I'm going to do this other one, and then we'll get the other sides. All right, now we've already got the other side on that one, so we'll come back and hit this one. And then we're going to be ready to put them on the grill. These are going to sit here for probably about 15 minutes or so while I go out there and heat up the grill. Get that Timberline 850 going. Going to be a really good cook. I love cooking on that Timberline, and I'll talk to you more about that once we get out there. All right, I decided we're going to customize this cook a little bit, and on this Traeger Timberline 850, if you go to cook cycle and hit enter, it's already got some pre-downloaded recipes, but we want to go to new, hit enter. So it's asking me what temperature I want to start it at, and I've already got it on 200, and I like that, so I'm going to keep that there at 200 degrees. Now it's asking me how long do I want it to stay there. So I'm going to put 2 hours and hit enter. No minutes. Super smoke on. Perfect. Now let's go to another step, add step. After 2 hours, I want it to go up to 275 degrees. And I'm going to hit enter. And I want it to go at 275 degrees until I hit a probe temperature of about 100, and let's go to 185 just so I can check it there. And then it's going to let me know when it gets there. Now I'm going to hit save, run cook cycle now. I'm going to hit yes. And there we go. Now we've got our customized cook cycle for these chuck roast burnt ends. we're going to go ahead and put these chuck roasts on Timberline, and I'm going to put them right here on this metal rack. That's one of the things I love about this Timberline is you can move the racks out like an oven rack. I'm going to put that one right there. I'm going to put this one right here, and this is the one I'm going to put the probe in because it's just a touch thicker than the other one. Get my probe out. Insert my probe. We're going to insert it in the thickest part of that chuck roast, right in the middle. So probably right about there. Slide the rack back in, and we're good to go. Alright folks, we've been going almost 2 hours, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about this app that Traeger has. It's one of the benefits that I love about these Traegers, and I wanted to show you the app that I've got for this cook. The grill is currently at 202 and I've got it set at 200 degrees. The meat probe is at 143 and I've got the goal set at 185 right now. And in 48 seconds, it's going to change because I customized that cook at the beginning. It should change from super smoke to, I believe I set it at 275 degrees. So we're going to see if that happens. Right now it's on super smoke. It's got the pellet sensor in the hopper and it's still at 100%, so it's full capacity as far as pellets go. It hasn't used hardly any pellets at all. And that temperature has only been varying plus or minus 2 degrees from 200 degrees. So let's see what happens. 10 seconds left. And we're going to see if we get that change like we set up for our customized cook. Alarm just went off. Grill guide step complete. And now, as you can see, it just changed to 275 degrees by itself, and that's going to start climbing. And now we're going to cook at 275 degrees until we get to an internal temperature of 185 degrees, and then I'll show you what happens then. I have not looked at the chuck roast so far, so the first time I open up that grill is going to be the first time I see it, just like you. So can't wait to see what happens. You can see the smoke rolling now as it starts to climb up temperature. So once we get to that internal temp of 185, we'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, it's been about 5.5 hours total so far, and we're like 1 degree away from 185 degrees internal temperature. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these chuck roasts out, cube them up, and then I'll show you how we're gonna season them up from there, okay? And they have shrunk up considerably since we put them on. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is slice into them. Oh yeah, that's what we're looking at so far. Again, about 185 degrees internal temperature. We're going to cut them into about 1-inch cubes or so, maybe a little less. Just try to get some good cubes out of it. And then they're going into this tinfoil pan over here. Man, again, look at that nice piece right there. nice. Maybe cut that one in half too. Looks good. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these here. Alright, so these are what they look like so far, and the color on them is fantastic, but we're going to make them even better. First of all, I've got about 6 pats of butter I'm going to add in here. Spread them out evenly throughout the pan. So that's going in. Then we're going to add a little bit more rub, and we're going to go in with Whiskey Bent Barbecue's Old Fashioned Rub. And just go right over the top of them with that. Not too much, just a little touch. And then for some sauce, I've got Sticky Fingers Carolina Sweet. And we're going to drizzle that right over the top. Get some good coverage with that. And now we're just going to mix that up with our hands, get everything coated nicely. Make sure all sides of these cubes are coated. Get one even layer. Make sure they're not on top of each other. Spread those back out. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to cover this with foil tightly. And then we're going to get it back on the Traeger. Probably crank it up maybe 325, 350, doesn't really matter at this point. We've got all the smoke that we're going to get on it. We just want to crank it up and let this stuff braise in those liquids and break down even further. And then when that happens, we're going to take them off and see how they turned out. Right back in the middle of that Timberline. Now let's crank the temperature up. 325. There we go. All right, folks, these things have been on about an hour since we put them on last in this tinfoil pan. And I just pulled them off to check them. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Check that out, folks. I mean, just slides in there like nothing. And that's what you want right there. Little nuggets of goodness. Look at that one right there. Beautiful. I mean, just tender as can be. And that's exactly what you want. I'm going to attempt to try one and end this video because my videographer is getting a little impatient. She's ready to eat. But as you can see, man, that thing's hot as fire. See right there, it just fell slap apart. Try a little bit of that piece right there. Right off the bat, that extra rub and sauce has tacked up, kind of sticky, which is great for that. Great beef flavor, the flavor's great, and it's tender. Now, this could probably go maybe another 15 or 20 minutes, something like that. But, I mean, great. Nice, squishy, tender pieces of meat. Is it as good as a brisket burn in? No. But this is going to be a crowd pleaser in your backyard. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Fake burn-ins, poor man's burn-ins, chuck roast burn-ins. I don't care what you call it. Look at that little smoke ring on there as well. I call it good. Give this a try. Great recipe. Traeger Timberline did work today. I didn't even really have to do anything. Give it a try. Subscribe, like, share, and keep coming back to Just Piddling Barbecue. Till next time, we'll be piddling. See you guys.